Good morning and welcome to Norcal PTAC's online webinar as a part of our Women in Construction series. This fantastic session is how to find construction bid opportunities. My name is Amanda Anderson. I'm the program coordinator for Norcal PTAC, and I'm joined today by Liz Brazil, one of our amazing procurement specialists here at Norcal PTAC, as well as some fantastic agency representatives from the Bay Area who will be speaking on their upcoming contract opportunities. But before we can get into Liz's presentation and all of our fantastic speakers, I do want to let you know a little bit about what Norcal PTAC does. So Norcal PTAC, or the Procurement Technical Assistance Center, is an absolutely free resource for you to help you with government contracting. We are a nationwide network of about 96 centers that are federally and locally funded to help you get into government contracting, as it can be quite difficult to get through the paperwork. And while that statistic for 2020 is a little outdated, in 2021, we do know that we helped our clients in Norcal PTAC win over $500,000 worth of contracts. Now, how can you get signed up with us? Well, there are a couple qualifications. You have to be within our Northern California service area, which you can see highlighted in this green on your screen. And you have to be a business that is operating and functional, that past performance showing that you can perform on what you are saying you can. You can provide a product, provide a service. That is very crucial for government contracting. Now, if you're looking to get set up with PTAC services, but maybe you're not in our service area, you can go ahead and go to your website at aptac-us.org, and you can find your local PTAC office on that website. And I will note that the PTAC program is currently going through some transition, and we are being rebranded as Apex Accelerators. So you'll be seeing PTAC as well as Apex Accelerators for probably about the next year. As long as you see one of those, you should be in the right service. And as another side note for Norcal PTAC, we actually just launched a newly redesigned website. So on our website, you can find a ton of amazing resources for government contracting. And if you have been there before, it may look a little bit different, but as long as we have the PTAC logo and that big red Apply Now button, you'll be in the right place. Now, before we go into the presentation, I do have to thank our fantastic sponsors who made this series possible. And we are sponsored by other resource partners that you can connect with, and they can help you and your business. So you can connect with Darlene Neal at the Women's Business Center in Oakland, or you can get connected with the National Association of Women Business Owners in the San Francisco Bay Area. They're fantastic resources for businesses, as well as Merriweather and Williams, a private insurance company that actually helps a lot with contracting and administrative support for their programs. And you can see that you can get connected with Merriweather and Williams in Fresno, Alameda, San Francisco, and Oakland. And you can also get connected with NAWIC, the National Association of Women in Construction. Their Bay Area chapter is a fantastic resource partner with us. And our goal, as well as theirs, is to help you be successful as a business. And you can also connect with the Women's Business Enterprise Council. And as you can see, you will be getting these slides later, and you can check out all these links and all of these amazing resources for yourself. So with that, I'll go ahead and pass it over to Liz.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Thank you for taking the time from your busy schedule. We are excited for you to join us for our Women in Construction series. Now, this is the second session. Today, I will cover how to find federal, state, and local agency construction bid opportunities. My goal is to provide you with the tips on how to conduct market research and to give you the tools to find construction opportunities, to bid as a prime or a subcontractor. I will cover this briefly to allow enough time for our local agency presenters to share their upcoming contracting opportunities. Again, my name is Liz Brazil. I'm the procurement specialist for Norcal PTAC, which is now going to be called Apex Accelerators. I have over 35 years working with various transportation agencies and have familiarity with local, state, and federal procurement processes. Okay, next. Before we get started, I need to read this disclosure. The information provided herein is accurate to the best of my ability at the time of this presentation. Some or all of the provisions mentioned herein could or may be changed by the current administration with or without prior notice. Next. Today, we're going to cover the importance of market research and knowing who to target, tips on building relationships with prime contractors, and overview of Norcal PTAC's free bid matching service. Now, normally there's a fee, but if you're a client of Norcal PTAC, this is a free service to you. And how to find local, state, and federal bid opportunities. And lastly, we're going to have upcoming opportunities from Bay Area transportation agencies. So with that, next. The first thing I always try to tell my clients is know who your prospects are and where their funding is coming from. The federal agencies, especially the Biden-Harris administration, announced a series of multi-billion-dollar projects for infrastructure. These are construction works for bridges, roadways, everything, even transportation agencies. So in January 4th, there's 2.1 billion. In December 15th of 2022, another 1.5 billion. September 15th, another 1.5 billion for infrastructure for 26 transportation projects nationwide. Next. So in addition to federal funding, you could also, they could also be receiving state funding. One of the funding is the Senate Bill 1, which is a $54 billion commitment over a 10-year period for improving transportation, roads, highways, bridges, and so on. Now, this is funneled through Caltrans, through the local assistance program. There's partnership with local agencies that oversees over $1 billion annually. Now, if you heard of AAA, NARMI is advertise, award, and administer the contracts. So they're using local agencies to help them deliver projects and programs. Now, there's 1,200 plus projects, 700 are in construction. These are available for over 600 cities, counties, and regional agencies. And you can have more information. The nice thing about this presentation is it provides you with a lot of links so that you can do some research. This one has a link for rebuildingcalifornia.ca.gov. So next. So there's various ways that you can actually participate. NARMI, there's the owner, which is the government agency. It could be Caltrans. There's over 250 plus agencies within the state of California. One of them is Caltrans, but they will have California Highway Patrol, the Parks and Recs, DNV, and so on. And then NARMI, a prime, would bid on these projects. There's opportunities depending on the size, right? Or if you'd like to, you can also participate as a subcontractor. Okay, so next. One thing that I do want you to have as a takeaway is the importance of market research. Determine who your prospects are and establish a relationship. This session is a great opportunity to build that relationship with some of our local presenters. Learn about construction projects in your area. Look at their websites, go through their board meeting agendas. Majority of the agencies even have a 12 or 24-month look ahead. And another thing too, we have sort of like a hybrid. Sometimes it's just mainly through Zoom meetings, or now we're starting to open up so you can attend some in-person networking events. This is something that we can help you with, and let us know. We can help you with your market research. Next. Define your customer, okay? If your customer have certain types of programs, make sure if you're eligible to sign up for those programs and get certified. There's opportunities in the federal level to be a women-owned or economically disadvantaged women-owned small business certification. There's even a hub zone if you're in the historically underutilized business zone. There's the SBA and so on. For the state of California, there is a small business and a disabled veteran programs. And if those agencies like Caltrans is receiving $1 of federal funding, they may even have a disadvantaged business enterprise, and that will be covered in a later section. And also, a lot of cities have their own local business, small local business, small local emerging business, and so on. So find out and learn more about your customer, okay? Next. A lot of times too is you have to determine if you have the capacity resource to bid as a prime. There's a lot of projects out there that you can bid as a prime, but a lot of times is you may not have the capacity, and therefore you may have to bid as subcontractor. If you are bidding as a prime, search for invitation for bids. Here are some of the links for the Caltrans Contractors Corner. And there's also some listing of counties and city in the Norcal PTAC website. If you are bidding as a subcontractor, reach out to the prompt contractors, okay? Opt into their projects and let them know what you can do to help them deliver their projects. Next. Tips on building relationships with primes. And this is really important, okay? Be familiar with a project. And so that you can connect to a prime and let them know what items or list that you can help them. Attend the pre-bid meetings, ask questions, review the plans and spec. There's a lot of builders exchange out there, and go out there and look at the plans and specs. Review the bid items and determine which item you can assist with. Are you ready, willing, and able? Do you have insurance? Do you have bonding? We have Merriweather and Williams that is supporting this presentation. Reach out to them. Do you have the capacity resource to deliver the project? Do not bid on a project that you know you don't have the capacity resource, okay? Sign up with Norcal PTAC, and at times we do receive invitation notices from the primes, and you will receive those notices. Next. Okay, as I mentioned earlier by Amanda, we do have a bid match service. It can help you search with your keywords or classification codes, and if it finds a match, it'll send you an email directly to you on a daily basis. So if you want more information on that, let us know. Next. How to find local, state, and federal bid opportunities. In order to do federal contracting, you must be registered with SAM. SAM has the information about contracting opportunities, but also if you are, if you have bid match, it'll automatically search it for you in SAM database. We also have Caltrans Contractors Corner, which provide a lot of opportunities for construction. And I'll go more in detail in the next few slides. We also have Cal eProcure. Remember, there's over 250 plus local agencies, state agencies, and they will post their opportunities at Cal eProcure. And then we also have the local agency websites, and some of those presenters will share their information with you. Next. Finding federal construction bids, as I mentioned, you have to go to the SAM System Award Management database or website, and you must be registered in order to do any federal contracting. But if you can see, the link out there is contract opportunities. Next. And other construction, there's various types of construction projects. Major A contracts are normally a large projects, over $1 million. There's also minor B contracts, which is from 5,000 to 388. But in addition to this, I would highly suggest that you sign up for emergency contracts. It's a registry that you will fill out a form so that if there's any need for your type of service, you will automatically be notified. This is a different type of procurement because it's emergency contract. It's a much quicker process. So next. So as I mentioned, Caltrans have major A contracts, which is over $1 million. And they do, if it's non-federally funded, they do have a goal of 25% for small business participation. Next. And I'll go briefly on how to search for these contracts. If you go to the Caltrans Contractors Corner, you click on the advertisement, you can search contracts by item. Next. And if you type traffic control system, as you notice, it found 71 records. So that means that there's 71 projects with the item code for traffic control system. So next. Or you can, if you know exactly what the project is and you heard about it and you'd like to learn more about it, you can type the project name. The first 2 digits is actually for the Caltrans district. There's 12 districts. And you can go jump to the project. And in here, you'll see, you can view the bid items, the project plans, the special provisions, and you know how much the estimated amount. This is a $220 million project. There's a DBE requirement. That means they are receiving federal funding. And also you have an opportunity to opt in, which is a great way to advertise your projects. And there's 9 prime contractors looking for help. So next. And here are more information. You know, as I mentioned, there's a bid opening, estimated amount, and DBE. Next. This is something I wanted to share with you briefly. I know it's going to be covered later on, but Caltrans have a DBE goal of 23% for this project. But Caltrans' overall DBE goal is 22.2%. So if you're eligible and you meet all these eligibility requirements, I would highly suggest that you get certified as a DBE. And Norcal PTAC can assist you with your DBE certification. So next. And again, you know, free advertisement, opt-in. And next. By opting in, you can sign up and say, hey, you know what? We're Western Traffic Supply. We are a DBE and small business certified firm. These are the services that we offer. If I was a prime and I need to make my DBE goal because there's a 23% goal for that project, guess what? I would more likely look in and reach out to you. So next. In addition to that, you can also be proactive. Reach out to the prime contractors looking for help or the client holders. So next. In here, the nice thing about this is you know who's looking for help and they have a contact information, they have a phone number, and reach out to them. Even though your service is not listed here, I would still reach out to them. Next. And in addition to the prime looking for help, I would also reach out to the plan holders. Let's see if they are interested in bidding on this project. So next. Now I want to bring you, we covered the federal, we covered the state. Now let's cover local contracting. Local contracting is contracts with counties, the cities, transportation agencies, or even other districts like school districts. Those are local contracting. We do have a website and you can go in there and they have the link to their procurement and sign up and register as a vendor. So next. This is just an example of the San Francisco Civic Partner. They do have their website link where you can search for contracting opportunities. Next. And you can find a partner and also register. So next. In addition to all the information I have provided, we also have a Norcal PTAC resource links. I'm just hoping that because we had a reorg, a rebranding of our website, that some of these links are still working. But if it's not, let us know, okay? And send us an email and we will look into it. Next. Okay, that's all I have. And hopefully, you know, you've learned about certain tips of how to find construction bid opportunities. Now it's time to hear from our guest presenters. So back to you, Amanda.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Liz. That was a ton of great information. And again, I did want to remind the folks in the audience, you will be receiving these slides as well as a video recording, and I'll go ahead and make sure that all of those links are updated and working before I send them out to you. So you'll be able to go through all those links, all of that information again on your own time. So with that, I will go ahead and introduce Damon Dorn with the California High-Speed Rail Authority to discuss his upcoming opportunities.
Thank you, Amanda. Good morning, everyone. My name is Damon Dorn. I'm the Small Business Outreach Coordinator for the High-Speed Rail. The California High-Speed Rail Authority is committed to small businesses playing a major role in the high-speed rail project. The high-speed rail is responsible for planning, designing, building, and operating the nation's first high-speed rail system. This system will connect the mega regions of the state, contribute to economic development and a cleaner environment. When completed, phase 1 of the high-speed rail will run from San Francisco to the Los Angeles basin in just under 3 hours at speeds capable of exceeding 200 miles per hour. Eventually, we will extend to both Sacramento and San Diego, totaling 800 miles with up to 24 stations. The high-speed rail project is being built through a series of design-build contracts, also referred to as construction packages. Next. The Small Business Program provides small businesses with the guidance and tools needed to participate on the high-speed rail project through outreach, education, and supportive services. This is a snapshot of our website on hsr.com, excuse me, .ca.gov. Sorry about that. Next. The small business program has an overall 30% goal for small business participation that includes a 10% DBE and a 3% DVBE participation goal. Only certified businesses as recognized by the high-speed rail are eligible to be credited towards the overall 30% small business participation goal. The small business requires the design, build, and consultant teams to develop and implement a small business performance plan to achieve the established small business goals. Next. While the high-speed rail is not a certifying agency, we do recognize the small business certifications from the California Department of General Services, the California Unified Certification Program, as well as the U.S. Administration's 8A program. Again, the DGS, or the Department of General Services, oversees the state certification program for small, micro, public works, as well as DVBEs. Regarding federal certifications, we recognize both the Disadvantaged Business Enterprise, or DBE certification, as well as the Small Business Administration's 8A certification. The California Unified Certification Program is responsible for DBE certifications in the state of California, and the U.S. Small Business Administration is the federal agency responsible for the 8A program. Next. Here, and this is some information that Liz shared with you already, is a listing or a links to some of the agencies that we just mentioned. So I won't stay on this screen too long, but feel free to reach out to them regarding certifications. Next. I'd also like to highlight the high-speed rail's vendor registry, which is called Connect HSR. This is a free online database that provides businesses with a quick and easy way to get connected to the high-speed rail opportunities. This is one of the first places our design build prime contractors look when they are seeking subcontractors to help them meet the 30% small business participation goal. Next. To register, you simply go to connecthsr.com and follow the instructions online. Your business is listed in the registry by the type of business, the services or supplies you sell, the service counties, as well as your certifications. As the high-speed rail project continues to grow, so does the need for additional small businesses. Outreach, engagement, and supportive services are vital to reaching businesses statewide, and Connect HSR will keep you connected to future contracting opportunities, trainings, and workshops such as these. We highly encourage all businesses to register here, and it's completely free. Next. If you are ready to look for contracts, they can be found on the high-speed rail opportunities page, and there's a link shown on the screen. Next. Also, just like all other state agencies, the California High-Speed Rail utilizes the DGS Cali Procure website for all our contracting and procurement opportunities. Next. Lastly, we just want to share a screenshot of some of our all of our social media platforms where you can stay in the loop regarding the HSR project and what's going on with the project. If you have any questions, feel free to reach us. And again, our email address as well as our website will be provided to you by our host today. Thank you, and that concludes my slides.
Thank you so much, Damon. I'm so glad you were able to join us with all of that fantastic information. So before we move on to Artemise Davenport, I do want to let everybody know if you have questions throughout our guest presenters' presentation, please do drop them into the Q&A. While we will not be answering them after each presentation, we will and do have a good chunk of time at the end to answer all of your questions. So with that, I will pass it over to Artemise Davenport with the Golden Gate Bridge Highway and Transportation District.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Amanda and Liz, for having me. Again, my name is Artemise Davenport. I am the Disadvantaged Business Enterprise Program Administrator for the district. And good morning to everyone. And there I am. My contact information, if you need anything, please feel free to contact me at any time. So the Golden Gate Bridge, if you're not familiar with us, we are the Golden Gate Bridge that's located at our actual iconic bridge in San Francisco. This is our mission statement. I won't read everything, but just in short, is to provide safe, efficient, and reliable means for the movement of people, goods, and services within the Golden Gate corridor. We do have 3 modes of transportation. Of course, our lovely bridge. We are a special district, so we are not a Caltrans owned or state of California owned bridge. We don't have any local sales tax measures or general funds. We do operate and maintain our bridge and our systems through toll revenues, um, ferry um, ferry fares, and transit fares, and state and federal funds. We do own about 147 buses. These are our service areas, Contra Costa, Marin, San Francisco, and Sonoma counties. And we do own 7 ferry vessels, and we are actually in the process of procuring a new ferry vessel. Our service areas are Larkspur, Tiburon, San Francisco, Angel Island, and Sausalito. Next slide. We do have a disadvantage in a small business program, and our current overall DBE goal is 1.4% for federal fiscal years 2023 through 2025. We do set small business contract specific goals on our contracts that have subcontracting opportunities, unless we are letting a contract that has federal highway administration funds, and as we are a subrecipient of Caltrans. So we would set DBE goals on those contracts. But just in short, we do honor the DGS certification for small businesses and the state minority owned business enterprise and women owned business enterprise. Also, our federal certifications, of course, DBE and the Small Business Administration 8A certification. Next slide. This is just a snapshot of what we procure. So it's not just ferry vessels and buses, but we do, have a variety of commodities and services that we do seek. And so this is just a snapshot of some of the things that if you service, please register as a vendor for us. And I think that goes into our next slide on how to do this. Vendor registration. This is the best way to stay in contact with or keep up with what's going on with the district. So all of our solicitations are posted on this procurement portal, which is powered by Bonfire. So if you've done any business with the Metropolitan Transportation Commission or SMART, the Sonoma Marin Area Rail Transit, we all share the same provider with Bonfire. So you would just click on, if you're new, you click on new vendor registration and you create your profile. What is very important is to please make sure when you are entering any vendor registration for any agency that you are entering the correct information. Please double check. Through experience, some firms have missed out on opportunities because of a wrong email address. So make sure your information and all of the NAICS codes, all the services that you provide, you complete this registration as much as possible. This is where, again, open public opportunities and past public opportunities, and anything that you have submitted a bid on will be stored here or could be accessible through this portal. Next slide. And this is free. Registration is free. This is a snapshot of some past public opportunities, and this is just really a tips for you to go on when you register, take a look at past public opportunities to see if there's anything that you possibly could have performed as a prime or that you might have been interested in doing business as a subcontractor. This system also allows for you to get on a list, a subcontractor list, if you are interested in subcontracting. I'd highly recommend just going through here, looking at some of the requirements or how the requirements for our solicitations, what the district, the order and how to submit your proposals or your bids. Take a look at the forms that are going to be required, and also some of the firms that have been awarded our contracts for possibly teaming and networking with them for future opportunities. Next slide. Here's a list of our upcoming opportunities. This schedule could be subject to change. There are a lot of repeats that get carried over, so just if you can, please, if there's anything that interests you, please register as a vendor, or reach out to me. I can get you in contact with the folks, the project managers for any of these projects that you might be interested in. Next slide. And this is a contact information. So please, please, please reach out to us if you just want to connect with anyone on this list. We will pick up the phone and we will answer your email. So reach out to us if you have any questions or if there's a contract that interests you that you want a little bit more information on. And I believe that concludes my slides. Thank you so very much.
Amazing. Thank you, Artemisa. That was a great presentation. And just so you know, everybody will be receiving these slides so you can go through all of those awesome upcoming opportunities and pick out the ones you really want to go for. So up next is Brooklyn Moore Green with AC Transit.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Mhm.
Hi, my name is Brooklyn Moore Green, as Amanda said. Thank you for having me today. Thank you to Norcal PTAC for inviting me to talk about AC Transit's opportunities and programs. Next slide. So AC Transit, as you can see on our map, serves 13 cities and their adjacent unincorporated areas within Alameda and Contra Costa County. We also cross some of our regional bridges down into downtown San Francisco, Foster City, San Mateo, Palo Alto, and Stanford. Next slide, please. So my department is contracts compliance, which involves small business outreach and advocacy, the purpose to explain small businesses, what contract goals and programs we have to offer. So some of our newer agency goals you'll see is a 10% small business contract goal, a 10% local business contract goal, some contract language for set-asides and bid preference points. Our just increased DBE agency goal is now 24%. And then as for small business certification, we as an agency don't certify, but we do accept, once confirmed, regional partners certifications. So you'll see a list, and DGS, CUCP, some of my colleagues have already mentioned these. Next slide, please. So what goods do we purchase? Obviously for buses, air brakes, compressors, air conditioning, cooling, diesel, tires, etc. But we also procure office supplies, furniture, miscellaneous goods, print shop supplies, etc. Next slide, please. And professional services. This is not an entire list, but as you'll see, accounting, banking, advertising, IT, legal, marketing, etc. Next slide, please. So how do you register and stay in connection with AC Transit? I'm hoping these pictures are clear enough, but you'll go to actransit.org, go to About Us, find Doing Business with AC Transit, scroll down to vendor registration. And please note, you have to be registered in order to bid on our contracts. Next slide, please. A few tips for bidders. Please thoroughly review solicitation specifications. Attend pre-bid and pre-proposal conferences and outreach events. Request a debrief on unsuccessful proposals, that is key. Stay informed by reviewing our website regularly, and if you're eligible, please get certified. Next slide, please. These are the next two slides, are our regional certifications. This is, again, not the entire list, but these are the ones we see most often. We do accept these if you are, we confirm them, but we accept these certifications towards our small and local business goals. Next slide, I believe, is also, yeah. Next slide, please. These opportunities are posting soon. You'll have these available to you on the slides if you download. Next slide, please. And these are some of the upcoming opportunities over the next 6 months, I believe. Next slide. This is my contact information, my manager's contact information, and then the Civil Rights Unit email address. Next slide. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thanks so much, Brooklyn.
Sure.
It looks like there's a lot of upcoming opportunities with AC Transit as well. And next up, we'll hear from Ronald Leong from the San Francisco County Transportation Authority. I do apologize if I mispronounced that.
No, that was spot on.
Oh, okay. Well, and there's your presentation.
Great. Thank you, Amanda. Welcome, and thank you for your interest in learning about the San Francisco County Transportation Authority. My name is Ron Leong. I'm the management analyst. Next slide. Today, I will talk about, provide a quick overview of the agency, how to do business with us, what we buy, and upcoming opportunities. Next slide, please. For those of you who may not be familiar with our agency, the Transportation Authority leads long-range transportation planning for San Francisco. We direct millions annually to partner agencies like SFMTA and BART to improve transit, reduce congestion, and increase street safety. We deliver and oversee major capital projects like the Presidio Parkway and Yerba Buena Island on and off ramps. And we also oversee major projects that are led by other agencies, including the Central Subway Project, Salesforce Transit Center, and Caltrain electrification. And as San Francisco's congestion management agency, we monitor travel activity on our streets and implement plans for reducing traffic congestion. Our board of supervisors represents 11 members, and they oversee the agency. Next slide. The Treasure Island Mobility Management Agency is the same staff as SFCTA, but is a separate legal entity with its own policies, budget, and governing board. Next slide. How to do business with us. Next slide, please. If you have not signed up for notification announcements, we would strongly encourage you to do so to receive project updates and notifications for upcoming procurements and outreach events. You can customize your notifications by project or types of services requested. From this page, you can also sign up for our monthly newsletter, which provides updates from our Board of Commissioners, project updates and milestones, as well as funding opportunities. Next slide. Here's a list of the certificates we accept for the 3 different funding types. Next slide, please. And what do we buy? Next, please. You can see our purchase categories. In addition to project-specific procurements on the left, we have recurring procurements listed on the right side of our screen. We also manage several on-call benches where a few of these projects will be captured within on-call. We mostly procure professional services such as construction management services or transportation planning. Next slide. I'd like to present our upcoming opportunities. This is a list at a high level of the opportunities ahead for both agencies. Note that this is all preliminary and is subject to change in the final procurement document. We currently will be looking for financial advisory services, bond and disclosure counsel services, on Yerba Buena Island, design for multi-use pathway, and pre-environmental study for Pennsylvania Avenue extension. And we plan to issue RFPs for all these opportunities. Next slide. Here's my contact information. Please feel free to contact me by email with any questions you may have. Next slide. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Ron. And before we jump into our last guest presentation, I did want to remind folks that we will be having a Q&A session after this presentation. So please do enter your questions into that Q&A section of Zoom webinar, and we'll make sure that you're able to get your answers from all of these amazing folks and the wealth of knowledge they have. And with that, I'll go ahead and pass it over to Jennifer Mina with Valley Transportation Authority.
Awesome. Good morning to you all. Excuse me, I've been sick, so I'm coming out of some laryngitis as well. I am Jennifer Manna, and I'm a management analyst working in VTA's Office of Business Diversity Programs, or OBDP for short. And I've been with the agency for 3 years now. I am very excited to be part of your event today, and I hope that I bring you what you consider to be helpful and interesting information about working with our agency. Next slide, please. Santa Clara Valley Transportation Authority, or VTA, as you most know, is an independent special district. And something that I find very interesting is that VTA not only provides bus, light rail, and paratransit services, but as the county's congestion management agency, VTA is also responsible for countywide transportation planning, including congestion management, design, and construction of specific highway, pedestrian, and bicycle improvement projects, as well as promotion of transit-oriented development. Our agency provides these services not only throughout Santa Clara County, but also in the 15 other cities noted here on this slide. Next slide, please. And let's all register to be a VTA supplier. All right, next slide. How do I find upcoming solicitations? If you will go to our very easy web address, vta.org, and scroll down to where you see doing business with VTA and select it, you'll see that here on this slide on the far right-hand side. Next slide, please. Then select View VTA Solicitations there on the left side. Next slide, please. You'll be taken directly to our procurement portal, which looks like this. This is a current screenshot of our open procurements. And note, please, you can skip remembering the very easy URL vta.org and go directly to this page by visiting a longer address. So I wanted to take you the easy route. And the longer address is procurement.opengov.com/portal/VTA. So your choice. Now, if you are not subscribed, you will not be able to open the solicitations. We encourage you to register via that green subscribe button there because it is the only way to receive notifications on new projects. And if you're already subscribed, you may view a particular solicitation by selecting that green open bar underneath the solicitations. Next slide, please. And here are a couple of tips when looking to do business with VTA. First, as you view the solicitations, look for that list of followers as shown here on the right-hand side of your screen. You'll see it there kind of blurred out, I believe in blue. Yeah. Next slide, please. You will note the firms that designate themselves as either prime or sub there on the right, and you'll want to target them to offer your goods and services. The second tip, if you are an SBE or a DBE, make sure to highlight your certification numbers when you go to connect with the prime or when you go to bid. That's really important. And I know a lot of folks here have talked about DBE and SBE certification. Likewise, VTA provides that as well. And so, you know, if you have any questions about that, feel free to reach out to us and we'll walk you through that process. Next slide, please. Now, why subscribe? To receive notices about upcoming opportunities, including those listed here in this presentation. Secondly, if you've subscribed, the notices will come to you automatically. And just a word of caution, always check the solicitations page, because if a coworker has registered your company under their name, you will not receive a notice, okay? And then thirdly, when you want to submit a bid or proposal, it must be done electronically through that OpenGov procurement portal before the due date and time. So our procurement team doesn't select or accept any procurements or submissions made even 1 minute after the due date. All right, next slide, please. Now, I've provided these also as a separate document, but you may find this list of upcoming contracts on VTA's Office of Business Diversity Programs website, again, at a very long URL, vta.org/business-center/business-diversity-programs, or navigate as I demonstrated before using the simple URL vta.org. Okay, this next slide is page 2 of our upcoming contracts. And you'll note that we are moving along quite nicely with our BART Silicon Valley Phase 2 project. And our last slide, that's all I have. And thank you very much.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Jennifer. And with that, we've gone through the bulk of our presentation. Now, before we get into the Q&A portion, I would like to make you aware that we do have one more session of this Women in Construction Week series, and it's going to be phenomenal. We have 5 construction business owners who are women-owned, have been there from the beginning, and they'll be talking about the challenges they've faced and how they surmounted them and everything in between. It's a great place to bring a lot of deeper questions and actually get a very good perspective on what it really takes to be a women-owned construction firm doing government contracting. So we hope to see you all there. And with that, we'll go ahead and get into our questions. We do have a couple already in the Q&A section. Please don't hesitate to enter in more as we answer these. So we'll start with Chris Aubrey. Chris has a water truck business, but doesn't quite have the resources to be a prime contractor. He's looking to subcontract, but he's having some trouble getting the prime contractors to get back to him or even email him back. He's wondering what advice you folks would give him to break into subcontracting with Caltrans primes.
I can take that question. What I would suggest, and this is something we tell contractors just about in every industry, is to reach out to the prime contractors and find out what's the best way to provide information to them. Typically, we suggest capability statements. Again, these contractors are very busy and they might not have time to take cold calls. But again, if you prepared a capability statement that kind of describes what your business does, your certifications, the area of operations where your business is located, that could definitely put you in the front row as far as getting the attention of these prime contractors when they're looking for a specific service.
I would also like to add, in addition to the capability statement, attend pre-proposal meetings, and also a lot of times they also have an outreach events. So those are opportunities to meet them, greet them, and let them know that you're interested in being a sub.
Fantastic. Artemise, did you want to add something?
Yes, I'd like to add for the district, again, we have that subcontractors list to make sure you get on that list. And the thing about the electronic, our portal is that you can see everyone that has downloaded the solicitation documents, the plan holders, you can reach out to them, but definitely get on the subcontractor list so your information is already there. And I do want to echo those pre-bid meetings. If you can, please attend, because I am at all of those meetings going over the DBE requirements and encouraging networking. So definitely register, get your information out there. Thank you.
Fantastic. Sounds like networking and making sure you're providing the information in the way they want is key. Jennifer, did you want to add some stuff to that too?
Yeah, I agree with all these things my colleagues have mentioned. As well, I want to mention that in September, VTA will be holding its 3rd annual Meet the Primes event. And so I'm just putting it out there now. We have not solidified the date, but it's typically held towards the end of the month. And just, put it on your radar to hopefully attend that and mingle with primes. And of course, these are all wonderful ideas and suggestions. I hope that you find them helpful, and it does help you, lead you to some business.
Fantastic. And then we have Nicole, who's asking about a DGS certification. It's been kind of stuck in limbo a little bit. Liz, does Norcal PTAC have procurement specialists who can help with that?
I can help along with other counselors, procurement specialists. So sign up for Norcal PTAC and you'll be assigned a counselor who can walk you through the process. In addition, we can also assist you with your women-owned certification. I hope you had a chance to attend yesterday's session, which they went over those certification. If not, you may be able to go through the past webinars and view that presentation. So there's federal certification for women-owned. There's also a California Public Utilities Commission of women WBE certification, Women Business Enterprise. So again, come join us, be a client. We'd love to help you.
Fantastic. And it looks like we have some networking being done in chat, which is fantastic to see, especially over a Zoom webinar. So we do have one more question from Kaylee. She's asking if there's a website that collects all government proposals in one. I believe that's talking local, state, federal. Does somebody want to speak on how those are solicited?
I don't know of any that would have all the local, the state, and federal. The state of California has Cal eProcure for all of the state agencies. And then local contracting, we have a list in Norcal PTAC website, but it's not one government. And lastly, if you are a client of Norcal PTAC, as I mentioned, you can have the bid match application or service for free. It will search for local, state, or federal contracting. So for example, if you provide electrical services, that's your keyword. And you also have probably a license C39 and you probably have classification codes. So bid match will search by your keywords, your classification codes. And when it finds that match, it'll send you the notification through your email on a daily basis. You can decide whether to pursue it or not. If you'd like to pursue it, Norcal PTAC procurement specialist can walk you through the whole process and work with you. And that is probably one of the best things. I don't know how much it is, but I know it's free from Norcal PTAC.
Absolutely. And it looks like Artemise put a very helpful link in chat.
Yes.
Yeah, just like to comment on that. Another helpful resource is there is a business outreach committee, which is a consortium of about 26 Bay Area transit and transportation agencies. So I did put the link toward the web page there. And if you scroll to the very bottom, if you're interested in doing any business with those agencies, that link will direct you to straight to their procurement portal. And so again, you probably do have to register. Thanks.
Fantastic. And we are pushing on our time, but there is one more question, and it's asking, do your agencies buy insurance as a service? Is anybody familiar with if their agency does so?
I believe we do, but I'm not going to promise that one. I think we do.
So there may be opportunities out there. It's definitely one where you can use the tools and the tips and tricks you got in this webinar to find those opportunities on each agency's website. So once again, thank you so much to everyone who was able to join us for this informative session of our Women in Construction Week series. And a special thanks to all of our guest speakers. I really appreciate you all being able to donate some of your time to help these fine folks do business with your agencies, because we all want to do business with them. It's just the paperwork can be a bit much. And that's what Norcal PTAC and all of these agency representatives are here to help with. So, as a quick note, when this webinar does close, you will be redirected to a feedback survey. We always ask our attendees give us some feedback on the presentation, from the content to how it was presented to you. And we always try to adjust with that feedback because we do this for you. And if it's not working for our attendees, for our clients, for the folks that we are trying to help, we can adjust per your feedback. So if you can fill that out, we really appreciate it. And with that, I hope everybody has a fantastic day. Thanks again. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.